are live. So, and now the shiny hunt begins. We're going to be soft resetting for a shiny Chimchar. Hope we'll actually be able to get it. This is actually going to probably take a very long time, actually, now that I just realized, because the resets of how long everything takes. But I don't know. It could be fun. I love Chimchar. I'm not the biggest fan of shiny Infernape, and also why is the... Oh, there we go. That's why it was not working. I was wondering, like, what the heck is going on? Why is it not working? There we go. Better, it is working. Everything is perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly working as it should be. Doot, 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 doot. Loading, loading, loading. Dear God, what am I doing? I am doing something that is insane. Just gotta, I'm gonna move up a little inch or two. You know, just to, you know, save those soft reset times. Yes, Barry wants to go find a red Gyarados. He's insane. Yeah, I've actually set everything to fastest tech speed, so let's just blast our way through all these technicals. I actually do love, the design of Professor Rowan's, small sprite. I don't like his like, big, full proportioned one. I don't really like it as much. I like his chibi style sprite. I just vastly prefer it. And yes, dear God, what am I doing? I am doing something that is foolish, idiotic, stupid, and that's exactly why we're doing it. Because it is the foolish, idiotic, dumbest thing ever imagined. And also, yes, I did name Vanilla Dawn Rebecca. And now we are attacked by the Starly. Alright. Pokeballs, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yes, the Chimp Pokemon Chimchar. The best starter in all of Unova. Not Unova, the best starter in all of Sinnoh, and the best starter in the entire series. Alright, here is reset number 1. Unfortunately, we did not get a first one shiny, which would have been really awesome, but... unfortunately, we did not get it. I actually don't know the, like, quick button access thing to do soft resets quick. I just probably should check that. So I know that there is, like, apparently one. Doesn't matter. It'll be more interesting this way. Actually, soft reset input, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Soft reset input. Hit, go to the game. Soft reset input. There we go. Look at it. Soft reset, you need to physically close. Okay, so actually you have to physically close the game down? Oh, I thought it was actually like there was a thing you could like input with your button inputs. I remember there was one. Okay, because I remember there was one. Maybe they took that out of Shield and Sword, and that's why they took it out of here. So I remember that was a thing that was possible, but yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for letting me know about that. There we go. Excuse me, let us pass. Thank you. We will allow you to pass in front of us, Professor Rowan. And there we go. We can now move on. I mean, this is actually a very long cutscene. It's what, like, 2 minutes or something long. But I mean, that's one of the reasons why, like, people doing these things are absolutely insane. Like, these people who actually do these resets are absolutely freaking insane. Which is exactly why I'm doing it, because I am one of those insane people. Thank you. There we go. Pokeballs. I want Chimchar. Nope. I said I want Chimchar. Oh, you have to actually press the up button. You can't just press down. Okay, that makes sense. But, there we go. Let us resume. First encounter. So here's the thing that apparently I've heard, is that if they do like the portrait thing, it means that the thing you're going up against has a guaranteed of like 2 IVs. Which means that apparently this thing always has like two IVs. Yeah, which is actually, I kind of find that funny. It's like, oh yeah, the thing is like hard-coded to have two perfect IVs in a fight you can't actually do. It's like, that makes no sense. You'd think ideally they would make it, okay, that's 0 IVs, so you can always win. I don't get. It makes no sense to me. But hey, I'm not a game developer, so I really can't weigh in. Because I am not a game dev, which you can obviously tell because I have no game dev experience. I don't like computers. They don't agree with me. Yes, let's go. No ordinary place. No mistaken. Lake, we are leaving. Professor Rowan, thank you. So how is everyone doing today? How are you doing, my good friend Tyler? Yeah, sorry we're not doing the Zygarde hunt right now. I didn't want to do that right now because it's gonna be this like madness inducing, and we're probably gonna be doing that either tomorrow or Monday. I think we're gonna do that. But yeah, we're not gonna be doing that right now. We're gonna be doing that in a couple of days because I kind of just like need to mentally prepare and also just get the correct path for the battle for like the Zygarde thing. Like, okay, this is a thing that has wide guard on it. This thing that has ice types that has, you know, the things that we need for it. Plus, I also got to make like battle counter, like basically the number of times that Tyler's gotten killed. Because that's like going to be a thing that I'm going to find hilarious. Is like, what are the actual number of times? I am also Johnny, but I'm using the new underground method. I did not do anything in particular on Thanksgiving. No. We just stayed here at home and, you know, just stayed here, which I'm okay with. Like, the main reason why is because my dad actually moved away a couple of weeks ago, so he is not in town anymore. So we didn't go see my dad's side of the family because they were at my uncle's house, and we don't get along with my uncle. We don't. So it's basically like that, because there was also that happened at Easter that kind of put a lot of strain on the entire family, because just like someone did a thing. I'm not going to go into details of what it was, but it really kind of made all of us want to maybe like not have as gigantic gatherings of family anymore, at least for like the time being. So yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, but hey, family's family, and family always has problems. But how did yours? I hope yours went better. I hope yours was better. I hope yours was much better than mine. Family drama, sadly common or not. Yeah, I mean, this was... Well, the reason why this was, like, particularly egregious was that it was Easter time, and my grandmother is, like, very, you know, she's, like, you know, very religious. And also, her birthday is very close to Easter. And the thing that my cousin did was, like, it's on this holiday, it is right near her birthday, and it was, like, massively disrespectful to the family. So it was basically like everything just going wrong at the fastest possible moment. But we are now on encounter number 4, and sadly, encounter number 4 is a flop. It is sadly a flop. But I'm glad to say that your turkey day was very good. My turkey day was actually also quite good because we only stayed here with my mother's side of the family, which is just me, you know, me, my brother, my mother's boyfriend, my mom, and my mother's boyfriend's brother. And, you know, that went well. The other good thing is that on Thanksgiving, on like all previous Thanksgiving, actually on every holiday, my brother and I, because we went over to our grandmother's, and, you know, we also have, you know, Thanksgiving with our mother, or, you know, the holiday with our mother, we would eat 2 of, like, the holiday meals. So we would basically just be absolutely stuffed, and it really was not healthy. Like, we would kind of force ourselves to eat a lot more than we should, because, you know, we don't want to, you know, not eat anything we wouldn't want to eat, you know, very little at anything, because, you know, just it does come across as a little bit of disrespect. Even though they know that we do have 2 of those giant meals, it still comes off, at least we feel it comes off a little disrespectful. So we would kind of force ourselves to eat a lot more, and it really wasn't the healthiest thing. Which is a good thing that, like, we're now eating a little bit healthier. Alright, soft reset number 5 is up and ready to roll. But yeah, my Infernape is actually my favorite starter Pokemon of every single one of them. And yeah, that's probably never gonna change. That's probably never gonna ever change because like the thing about like I like all the Sinnoh starters. I like all their final evolved forms, but I can definitely say this. They do not give me the same feeling of when I played Alola for the first time. I picked Incineroar, and I saw How's Decidueye, and I was like, that thing is really awesome, but I made the right choice in picking the starter I did. You know, it's like, there is no other region that gives me that feeling of, this is a great starter, however, I still made the better pick. Because I like mine more. But it's like, no region other than Alola has ever given me that feeling. And I really wish that another game would, but it's just nothing else has, and I highly doubt anything ever will. But I mean, I love it. I pretty much don't dislike any starters. The only starters I can really say I don't like are Greninja, just because the thing is kind of rammed down our throats so much, and I just kind of get tired of it. Blaziken, because kind of the same reason, but also I'm not a big fan of like one-tricks competitively. And like Cinderace, because Cinderace is basically like Blaziken 0.7. So it's kind of like the same thing, but not as strong, and it's kind of like I don't really care about this thing that much. It's trying to it visually reminds me way too much of Blaziken. So it's like it reminds me too much of a Pokemon I already don't care for, and I also already don't really care for this thing much. But like that's just the way that I know I am, and I know that I'm a bit weird. But so what has everyone been thinking of the difficulty analysis series? Have you seen that yet, Tyler? I don't know if you have, but like I'm actually like extremely proud of that. And tomorrow, Hoenn is going. Well, Hoenn and the first Kanto remakes of Fire Red Leaf Green is actually going to be in that one. And that was a beast of a video to edit. Because here's the thing, the first video was the 20 minutes or so, and the second one, Johto, was about 40. This thing was an hour and 15 minutes in total time. And a big part of that really does stem from the fact that I have to go through the entirety of Hoenn, then the entirety of Fire Red Leaf Green, then back again the entirety of Hoenn. So basically I'm going through 3 separate games, and no other series released in the same way, because the release schedule of Hoenn was actually release at Fire Red Leaf Green, then Emerald. Whereas with not Sun and Moon, with the release schedule of it was like an 8 hour. It was like 8 hours in total of like the recording. The recording was about 8 hours. The recording, the screenshot editing of the teams, the back display things, and then the stitching all the footage together was in total about 8 hours. And the only other, I don't think any other generation is gonna ever come close to that sheer number of things, because yes, when it gets to Generation 7, I have Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, in addition to Sun and Moon, but with Sun and Moon, a lot of battles are not the same, but a lot of them are similar to the point where, you know, I can like put things that we've already been over a team like this, the only differences are like 1 or 2 things. And then in Generation 4, where you have Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but Heart Gold, Soul Silver followed Platinum. So it went Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, then Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So the transition between between Diamond and Pearl into Platinum, there's a lot of very similar battles between those, meaning editing is going to be much less of a hassle, at least, well, not editing, but more so recording is going to be much less of a hassle, so I don't need to basically re-go over an entire game again. Which is one of those, like, it's going to be good. But the thing also is that the more I do these edits, the better and the faster I get at it. The more that I can read over a thing and boom, I can reply, like run through the whole thing, edit faster, optimize things better, and just everything like that. So I'm getting a lot quicker at it. Because the way that I do things typically with editing is I record at night, I edit during the day. Because, well, during the day, I'm watching, my friend's stream. I'm watching my friend's stream. I am, editing. I'm watching my friend's stream on my laptop, and then I am recording. I'm not editing. I'm not recording. I'm editing on my main PC. So between that, I can go through a lot of things. I'm talking to my friends in their stream. I'm editing, one thing I've noticed when it comes to the recording is because I'm basically saying probably 20 or so seconds of dialogue, pausing, reading over the script, and then doing that, and basically just repeating that in a cycle. The only times I ever need to edit anything is pretty much editing out the massive spacers in time between readings. So, I can basically just not necessarily not need to look at and listen to the dialogue I'm saying, because there are times where I will misspeak, but when I misspeak, I basically leave a significantly larger pause between my two readings to basically say, boom, I know that there's a thing there, and I also listen through everything all over again to make sure everything goes the way that it should. Which means that I can basically edit at a glance in a much quicker way, and the editing the sound bites is the editing of my capture footage is not really the hard part. The hard part, and what takes a long time, is screenshotting everything, going into Krita, and editing and cropping the photos of the teams into the backdrops you see, and then transferring those into the file. That's really what takes a long time. And then basically stretching everything out. That's really what takes a long time. But it's one of those things where the more that I do it, just the more that I get better at it, and the quicker it gets. I actually enjoy the editing of it. Even though, yes, it does take a very long time, it's therapeutic fun. I do find editing very therapeutic. Which I know a lot of people I know don't really enjoy editing. It's one of the reasons why I know a lot of people that I know who are also creators, they primarily stream, they don't really edit, where if they're editing, it's pretty much here's a shiny reaction compilation, or here's a short little 2-minute thing, clip from one of the videos, where they just grab the thing, split cut around it, have that little clip. It's because they don't have to edit a whole lot of things. But for me, I'm kind of the opposite, where I actually prefer recording. The thing is, I know recording doesn't really do as well. The streaming, I do also like the interactions between you guys. So I'm kind of a bit half and half. It's a bit of both. But yeah, it's fun. I do enjoy doing it. But yeah, but here's the only thing that I'm actually kind of worried about, is that we're not gonna get with streaming. Is I'm not going to be able to stream after December. So pretty much, when January starts, I will pretty much no longer be able to stream until around mid-May of 2022. So we're going to have, 4 or 5 months just solid of I'm not able to stream, which is really unfortunate, because streaming is what brings in more attention, it brings in more traffic, it brings in more views, it brings in more impressions, and it really just makes the channel grow a lot quicker, which is why it's going to be unfortunate when I can't do that any longer for a prolonged period of time, because my biggest worry is that's when we're going to start shrinking, because we've been growing at a very good rate. But every so often, I do notice, we lose a sub every day or two, every couple of days, maybe once a week, we lose one, and My worry is pretty much that because we bring in, like a huge amount from the streams, we bring in a huge amount from like going to raids, and we bring in, say, every week we pretty much bring in, say, between 5 and 15 every single week. So losing one or two every odd couple of days, it counterbalances into not really being a big problem. However, when it comes to those, 4, 5 solid months of not being able to stream, we're not going to be able to be bringing in as many people and as we used to be, at least, based on previous, data I have from, previous subscriber interaction numbers, to that will potentially be the point where we might start having a net loss, because we have had a huge net gain of everything. Like everyone, we have had a net gain all around, and we have never had a net loss. Well, we have had days where it's a net loss, but the next day we basically gain them back, or we like over the course of the week we just gain everything back and we obsolete the loss. The worry I have is that when it comes time for me to go back to college and for me to no longer be able to do this, do this, in terms of streaming, because I'll still have, content being uploaded. I have a massive bank of prepared footage that I'm editing and working on in the background that is going to be all uploaded, and, well, it's going to be uploaded before then, but it'll be scheduled to go up after, I return. That maybe it likely will not bring in as many people as the streams have, which is one of the reasons why I want to grow as much as I can right now, and then over that course of that time, hope against hope that things will maintain themselves and potentially still grow. We might, because I have noticed there's times where I'm not streaming and I do pick up the odd subscriber here or there, and that people are watching the videos, but the Let's Plays don't really bring in as many viewers. It's a simple thing that you can actually just go through and look at the view numbers on anything I have. The Samus, the Super Metroid series, it brings in maybe 4 or 5, if it's lucky, views at all. Outside the debut episode or outside the second one, they really haven't brought in that many. And then you look at the streams where I bring in well into the double digits, almost triple digits in some cases, actually triple digits in some cases, where that's kind of where I know that I'm paranoid in that way, where it is definitely paranoia for me, where it will eventually we will start losing things. But yeah, it's a worry that I do have, and it's something that I wouldn't say keeps me up at night, but it is something that does kind of drive me to more, I guess one could say, grandiose projects, because I definitely have those in the back burner. And the discussion videos, they are definitely doing very well, and I do enjoy them. I enjoy the Let's Plays as much as anything else. I love playing games, commenting on them, and just, being able to share experiences with you guys. But I also do like the discussion videos because I'm very... And this is one that I know that Tyler, from, our Draft League matches. I am very analytical. I am extremely analytical about just the way that I think of games, the way that I look at everything, and that's one thing I like to make the discussion. Because I know that I probably am stressing way too much about this stuff because it's just paranoia, which it's a thing that I just know I am that way. But I like the discussion videos because I enjoy discussing things. I enjoy looking at things in a much more analytical mind and sort of looking at the hard and true numbers of things, or looking at the things from a more hard perspective rather than this is just how I feel about this thing, this is how I like this thing, therefore this thing is good. I like looking at things from a, this thing is numbers. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the things and see how do these numbers apply and how do you feel about these things with the understanding of how the numbers play into everything. So one of the reasons why when I get to the video on Mega Evolutions, I'm really looking forward to what people are going to say to that one, because when it comes to things like that, the numbers are not something that a lot of people really, I wouldn't say think of when it comes to the numbers of it, but more so that people aren't aware of how big the numbers actually are with things. Because that's one thing that actually, like, people from the badge boost have actually said from the difficulty analysis series, where when you actually compare, like, this is how much the badge boosts go up by, you basically take something that's, low 500s to equivalently, it's a pseudo legendary when you actually consider the numerics. And I really like doing that. I really like looking at the numerics and seeing this is really how things are affected, and seeing people who, not necessarily didn't, who didn't really realize the full scope of those numeric impacts. It's one thing that I really, really love seeing. Because it's like, I fully acknowledge this. I think way more about numbers and way more about how things work on a mechanical level than pretty much anyone cares to. Most people don't really care about the ins and outs of numerics and mechanics and how everything fundamentally functions. Pretty much not really many people who play Pokemon care about those. But I still like to, bring them up and say, yeah, this is a thing that happens. This is a thing that involves these things, and this is how they work. I really like that. I find that very, I guess, enjoyable to basically teach. Teach how things work. It's one of the reasons why I very much enjoy doing these things, because I enjoy basically teaching how, games work, how, not necessarily how games work, but more so like how the inner workings of everything play into one another. Because there's a lot of, like, really deep rocket sciencey things when it comes to Pokemon, and a lot of people kind of don't realize, like, how rocket sciencey everything is. It's kind of awesome. Like the fact that Azumarill has a higher attack stat than Garchomp. Yeah, it's actually amazing. It actually does have a higher attack stat than Garchomp when you actually consider the fact that Huge Power doubles its stats. So a lot of people think that, okay, Huge Power doubles the base stats. No, it doubles the true stats. You then have to back calculate the actual effect on base stats, and the base stat effect is actually significantly higher than, the base stat change is always higher than the true stat change. That's one of the reasons why you're looking at certain things. You look at, okay, well, swords and whatever it is, you can't really gauge how things go just from that, because, well, the way they work is not linear. The numbers don't work in a linear fashion when it comes to base stats. No, X, close. Yes. It's one thing why I absolutely love just thinking about the numbers and everything. Insert that the numbers Mason. What does it mean from Call of Duty Black Ops? Honestly, I love that soundbite. Like, I legitimately want to make that soundbite a thing that we just, like, play every so often whenever I start talking about numbers, because it's so apt. It is such an apt thing for me. Because I really do just think about the numbers. And this is me having rambled on for so long and not having a clue what to talk about. So, starters. What is everyone's favorite starter Pokemon? Just for any of the generations, and is there any particular reason why? Just curiosity. What are those? Yes. Because, like, my favorite is, obviously, as you can tell, Infernape. And my second favorite is Incineroar. Third on the list is actually, I don't really know what my third favorite starter would actually be. Because I really like I wouldn't say I really like most starters, but it's very difficult for me to, like, pick a hard list of those. Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect Tepig. From using it in the black version playthrough, which is on the channel, I have a respect for it. Is it the greatest thing in the world? No, but it's pretty much the best of it's the second best of the firefighting types, because unlike Blaziken, where Blaziken is just a glass cannon, it actually has like the bulk to use things like Flare Blitz. Because one of the reasons why Infernape can use Flare Blitz really well is because it is so fast. It doesn't have the greatest of offensive stats, but because it has that really great speed, it can generally go first, hit something with Flare Blitz, and not really run the risk of being KO'd in return because the enemy survives. Whereas like Blaziken has, comparable offensive stats, but it is significantly slower. So it can't really use Flare Blitz because, well, it's slower, it'll take a hit before it goes, and then it'll basically KO itself. Whereas Emboar has like that huge HP stat, so it can actually, so even though it is slower, it can take a hit, still Flare Blitz, and still survive because it has that huge bank of HP in reserve. So one of the reasons why it's one of the like I will defend Emboar. Like I will defend Emboar from all the people because it's one of those Pokemon where if people used it, they wouldn't really have as many issues with it. They wouldn't have as many issues with it if people actually like gave it a chance. But it's just because the reputation it has, it's unlikely that'll ever change, which is unfortunate. The funny thing is that it's actually based on a character from the same story that the basis of Infernape is. It's based on the pig demon Pigsy from Journey to the West, whereas, Infernape is based on Sun Wukong from Journey to the West. So it's kind of fitting that they're both firefight types because they're based on, like, the same thing. Yes, like, Fire Dark probably would have made more sense, but Dark is really not a good offensive typing. Like, that's the thing a lot of people don't really realize, is that Dark is kind of a bad typing just all around. Because, like, it doesn't have many offensive advantages. Like, yes, it's good against Psychic, but the reason why it needed to be added for, Psychic balancing was because Psychic was so strong in Generation 1, they needed a counterbalance for it. And that was mostly for competitive. That isn't really for, like, a story playthrough purpose. But you look at, like, fighting. You look at Dark types. Dark types don't really do a whole lot of work when it comes to a story playthrough. But you look at fighting types. They have the most number of things they hit for super effective damage. Pair that up with, Fire, where Fire hits a good number of things, especially some things that actually resist fighting. It hits Bug type, which resists fighting. It gives it really, really good coverage, so it's actually a really, really good starter just because it can hit so many things for great damage. Plus, like, again, Dark moves are not really that strong. Like, sure, there's Dark Pulse, and there's Crunch, but that's pretty much it. That's all there are when it comes to, like, good Dark moves outside of, like, Dark Pulse. I mean, I think I just said Dark Pulse and Crunch. Like, sure, Knockoff is good, but Knockoff was terrible back in Generation 4. I'm not Generation 4, Generation 5. It was until Gen 6 where they actually buffed it and made it really good. I say that is like the best change that any game ever made when it comes to moves. Outside of the Leech Life buff, it is the second best change to any move in any generation ever because it actually made Knockoff like beyond just tech. Because the problem with Knockoff beforehand was, sure, you can remove an item, but you're not doing any damage. You're not really hurting anything. You're not really making it a big impact. Whereas now, you have a move that can deal a pretty competent amount of damage while also having some good solid tech. Which, in my opinion, is kind of how things should be. You should have tech that does respectable work. Even if it is just simply tech, it should still be able to do some solid work. No. I honestly wonder what we're going to find first, Shiny Chimchar or Shiny Starly, because you can actually find Shiny Starly here. I wonder which one we're actually going to find first. It's probably going to be Shiny Starly, knowing my luck, because I have mentioned the tale of the Shiny Trapinch while looking for the Rough Skin Gabite. So, knowing my luck, that's exactly how things are going to end up going. And I don't have an issue with that, because it just means I have like a clickbait thing to put. Yo, we got Shiny, Impossible Shiny Starly! I just find that funny. I just find that absolutely hilarious. That it's something that can actually happen. I just find that hilarious. Yes, yes, Barry. It's kind of fitting how we're actually shiny hunting when Barry is saying, let's go find the red Gyarados, because he is actually shiny hunting himself. Barry is actually shiny hunting. Barry is doing a shiny soft reset. I mean, I know it's not like a thing that the games are actually commenting on that people do, but it's fine. It's kind of funny, like in retrospect, that's exactly what it is. It is exactly him wanting to shiny hunt. Because around the time of Generation 4, shinies were not really a common thing people knew about. It really wasn't until the internet kind of blew up with the Pokemon community that shiny Pokemon really became a prominent thing that was known about. And now it is time for our next encounter. Which is it gonna be? Is this gonna be the Sparkle, or is it gonna be like the 10 billionth encounter from now? Because these are full odds. These are 4,096 odds encounters. Not a shiny Starly, but is it going to be a shiny? Nope. It's not a shiny Chimchar. It's not a shiny monkey. Barry shiny hunting his starter too, but he doesn't. So he doesn't mind your Time Lord shenanigans. Yes, that is correct. He doesn't mind me just save scumming everything, because he is similarly shiny hunting. Alright, your Time Lord shenanigans. I mean, it would have been more fitting if we were doing this in Diamond because Dialga, but yeah, I decided to not go with Diamond version just because Diamond was actually the first full game I played. It was the first full Pokemon game that I ever played, and I don't know, I just kind of have a little special spot in my heart for it. I mean, also because like I love Dialga, it is my favorite legendary by a freaking mile. But I don't know, I like it. I very much like it. Thank you, Professor Rowan. Please go on by. Let's go. Come on, Barry. Come on, Barry. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, this is a gigantic cutscene, pretty much. I mean, I kind of wish that it was like an automated cutscene and that it was just... it would run through without you having to press the dialogue buttons. But, I mean, it does also kind of keep you focused, so it does make sense. These are Pokeballs for battling Pokemon, which I do not want Turtwig. I want Chimchar. I want the best starter. I want the best starter ever made. Alright, is this going to be the shiny Chimchar? Hopefully it is, but I highly doubt it. Nope. Why is it? I press Y and it doesn't close. That's weird. That's very weird. Come on. There we go. And with all of that, let's continue on to our 19th one. Maybe lucky number 19. It's kind of funny that we've actually had, we've had a lot of hunts so far, but like everything we've had so far is currently under odds. Like we have never had a thing that went over odds. Which I find funny because we have not gone over 100 actually encounters for anything. So I wonder if, I mean, I feel like Ho-Oh might actually go over first because actually, well, no, see, Dynamax Adventure Ho-Oh actually is going to take longer. But the thing is, it's 40 times. Well, actually, it's 41 times more likely to get a shiny from that than it is this. So I guess it's pretty much, is it 41 times faster to do this? Well, obviously no. It actually is a lot faster to do that odds because it's about 2 minutes for soft reset. And about 2 minutes, well, 2 plus minutes for a soft reset encounter. And it's about maybe like 15 minutes for a Ho-Oh encounter. So no, we are not... No, it is definitely not faster. There we go. And nope, not a shiny chimp. It is not a sunburnt chimp. Sunburnt Chimchar. I love Chimchar. I love Chimchar. It's such a great Pokemon. It is such a great Pokemon. But again, thank you everyone for coming out today, and please share this around with your friends, because the more people we have viewing, the more we will grow, and the more we grow, the sooner I'll be able to do bigger projects. Because one thing that I'm really looking forward to doing is, because the capture card is a bit of a problem. I've mentioned this a couple of times before, and like when we can get a better capture card, everything will basically just go back to being fantastic. But I mean, until then, that's the thing that we gotta work on. But the other thing also is ideas for other series, because that's one thing that I've kind of always struggled with is new ideas for series to play, because I basically have only played Pokemon and Call of Duty Zombies for the longest time. I've recently played Metroid. I've recently played Kirby. I have never played a Mario game. I have never played a Mario game whatsoever. So, coming up with ideas for, new series to play is incredibly difficult for me. Because, I don't know what games to play and even, think about different series. Well, I've only ever played, 2 genres, so I don't know how other genres play. Which is why it's Metroid. I very much enjoy Metroid, and I've loved doing the Metroid series. I probably will continue saying this for a long time. I am the most proud of my Metroid series. The Metroid series are the series that I am the most proud of when it comes to the Let's Plays, and I highly doubt things will really ever top them in terms of the series that I have enjoyed doing the most. Because I love doing Pokemon, but when it comes to Pokemon is just so second nature to me. It's something that I kind of can do unconsciously. With the Metroid games, I'm so much more engaged, figuring everything out and just seeing so many new things for the first time. It really just draws me in kind of a way that, as much as I love Pokemon really can't do anymore, because I'm just so used to everything. Okay, so pressing B just blasts through all the text. Okay, that's good to know. This will speed running tactics of speed text blast through. Bear shiny hunting his starter. Yep, he is shiny hunting his starter. Yes, Barry, let's go. We have to go get the thing. We must get our shiny starters, because that is of paramount importance. That's why we're doing here. That's why we're doing any of this. It is because of the shiny starters. Yes, open the box. Pokeballs, look at them. Which one do you want? I want Chimchar. As of course, I've said do this 21 times. I've said do this 20 times already. I want Chimchar. I kind of wish the game would remember that, but I mean, I know why they don't, because autosave is off. And close down. There we go. On to the next one. On to the next battle. Actually, not, I mean, I guess technically it's on to the next battle, because it's another battle with Wild Starly, because we have to use the battle in order to judge the shininess of the thing, but not really. Not really. Because we're not even doing the battle, we're just doing an encounter. But yeah, I can definitely see why. I mean, we've been doing this for 45 minutes, we only have had 20 encounters. I don't know how people can get 60 of these things and done. I mean, then again, you get better at knowing how to press the buttons and optimize your button pressing patterns, so I guess it makes a little bit of sense. I guess it makes a little bit of sense doing that. But yeah, it's definitely a fun time. I have enjoyed this thing. I have very much enjoyed. Ram, good luck. I'm on. Are you new here? I don't think I recognize your name. But hello, Ram, or yeah, Ram or Ram. Hello, are you new here? I don't think I've seen you before. Yeah, almost at 4K resets. Yeah, that's the thing that I dread. That is the number that I dread seeing. I have never been looking for a shiny that has gone over odds, and I would very much like to keep that as a thing, where I just don't go over odds. But I have a very sneaking suspicion that it's gonna always not be that case, because that's just how RNG works. I am a person who does things by the numbers, but I understand when RNG does not be in your favor. I mean, I'm a Togekiss abuser. I am a Togekiss abuser who uses flint hacks. So, I am aware of the cruelness that RNG can be when it turns against your favor. Yeah. Not fun. Not fun. Come on. No. There we go, press the A button. Let's get through all these things. Get through all the text boxes so we can get our shiny monkey. Like, I envy like the people who do like dual shiny hunting. I'm new, just found you, and I was thinking, stop it on. Really, like the best thing for you. And again, thank you for actually finding the channel. We do shiny hunting every so often. We do a lot of like, I wouldn't exactly say like a competitive focus content, but we do things with a much more competitive analytical eye. We do some shiny hunting. We basically do a bit of everything when it comes to the Pokemon community. So we also do some different games. We're doing a bunch of other stuff. So if you would interested in seeing more of what we have, there is the rest of the channel. We have a Metroid series, Super Metroid, actually ongoing at the moment. We're also playing Shovel Knight, and we recently have done things on Fossil Fighters, and Fossil Fighters Champions is a game that we're actually going to be doing in a couple of weeks. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to look forward to. At the same time, there's also a lot to kind of not look forward to in my nonsensical ramblings of everything, because I'm a bit of a crazy person when it comes to Pokemon. I am, like, extremely hyper-competitive when it comes to things. And I get really focused on things. I really want to play, but I'm in too deep. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I play in a very analytical way. It's mostly because when I first came back to Pokemon, it was a couple of years ago, and I basically just started with in the Penn State Pokemon Society, a club that I'm a part of at my college, and I really want to play. But yeah, also thank you very much again. Subscribe, that really means the world to me. But yeah, so when I first came back to playing Pokemon after a several-year hiatus, I was part of a club, and that club kind of, had me dabbling in a little bit of competitive things. I enjoy doing this, so I actually started doing a bit more and really getting more deep into it. Then I went to a VGC regional event, which just did so much that really just changed pretty much the whole way that I play. And I can still appreciate Pokemon for just as a simple casual thing, but I do look at the games more analytically rather than just, oh, here's a thing that might be a little fun. It's I very much look more analytically, and it's one of those things where I kind of want to maybe help people see how to do things maybe more optimized. One thing with Pokemon is that they never actually explain how the various things all work. They never explain the physical special split. They never explain EVs, anything like that. And I want to basically help people understand that a bit more. And, basically just not necessarily show people how to play right, but more so help people who maybe don't know competitive, don't know all the super ins and outs of everything, how to maybe play at a higher level to make the best use of things that they can. Because I remember how difficult it was for me when I started out playing. I knew absolutely nothing, and now that I had people who helped me, after several years of not knowing how to do things, I want to essentially be that person to help people learn things quicker than basically just stumbling around in the dark. It is one thing that I really cannot stress enough that I despised about when I learned how to play Pokemon, was I was literally just stumbling around trying to figure out what to do, and I did more progress in my ability to play in a like 6 weeks of a draft league than in the 2 or 3 years that I had been playing prior. Like, it was insane when you just have like one person who's there, like, just gives you like a little nudge in the right direction, says, yeah, this is what you're doing that's really good, this is what you're doing that doesn't work, so think about why it doesn't work and how you can make things better. It's like, it's a little nudge like that that really just goes a long way to really helping everything, and it's the most wonderful thing in the world. And I want to be able to help people, like, I want to basically be there to do that for other people who, may not necessarily have that. Because, I was extremely lucky when it came to the Penn State Pokemon site. Like, those were some of the nicest people I have ever met. And some of the best people, like, some of the best friends I've ever had, and just some of the people who we can literally just, like, talk Pokemon all day. Any facet of the series, we can just talk that for hours. We have in the club Discord. And it's just something like that I treasure so much, and I basically want to bring that idea into the ability for more people to basically be a part of. Because it was a series that was designed to bring people together, and yet it is something that has routinely driven people apart. Just because of the way that they view things and the inability to accept, like, different ideologies about the games. I want to kind of remedy that and, like, bring the thing back to being a more cooperative friend thing. As kind of generic as I want to create world peace in Pokemon as it sounds, it's something that I have kind of wanted to do because I have a little bit of myself in every little section of the community, and I know why people see things the way they do with regards to different sections of the community, and I want to basically, like, make it so, like, those kind of are not as disruptive, or basically, like, just go a small step to fixing everything, essentially. Yeah, community is... Yeah, the Pokemon community, like, the thing about the Pokemon community is, the only reason why the Pokemon community is as toxic as it is at times is because people are so passionate about things. It is because people have such a strong emotional connection to everything that they have that they react as aggressively as they do with regards to things. That, if you do something or you say something that kind of insinuates or implies something that is contrary to what someone else thinks is good, or you say something, this is bad for this reason, and someone else likes that thing, it's because we have so much emotion tied up into everything that things inflame and become extremely explosive. It's one of the reasons why, like, it's why, like, you basically can't kind of reason with people who are going to be that explosive because, well, they're talking from the point of emotion. They will only be driven by those emotions, and when you're dealing with someone who is extremely emotional, you can't reason with them, you can't talk them down. They just kind of need to work it out themselves. And with Pokemon, because things have been entrenched for years, it's so woven into everything that they are with regards to things, you just can't bypass that. Unless they are aware of what it is, and they actively want to change that, which not everyone is aware of, and also a lot of people are probably not the most willing to change it, it will never go anywhere. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of want to, like, stop that from happening before it can, and maybe, like, address that and make it something that is more well-known so that people can, work around it, and maybe we can not be as toxic as I will be fully honest. There have been times where I have been toxic. There have been times, like, where I was, and I am not proud of it, but I will acknowledge it. Hello everybody, it's your Shiny Hunting the Monkey. Yep, I am Shiny Hunting the Monkey. My favorite starter of all. Yeah, emotion is the driving force of toxicity in Pokemon. Because, like, people have such a strong emotional attachment to so many Pokemon. It's why if you say something that, like, insults Charizard, like says, Charizard's a terrible Pokemon, it's a bad Pokemon, whatever it is, to someone who's a Gen 1 person, they will just freaking explode at you. Because it's like, it's, probably one of their favorite Pokemon. You're saying something that is insulting towards one of their favorite Pokemon, and it's been so, heavily, a thing that this is so woven into, like, their fondness for the Pokemon series, that it just explodes outwards. It's, that's, I mean, it's kind of like the bad example, but it's like, I mean, another example is like, favorite game, or like, I think this game is better than this one. Well, does that mean you're saying the game that I like is bad? Well, this game's my childhood, this game I think is the best game because it's, the first game I played. And it just goes back and forth, and that's what a lot of it is, like, people saying, like, this is my opinion on something, and not being able to, accept that another opinion exists, and is also valid. I got a lucky egg, what I did, I don't really use glitches. I am not really someone who uses glitches and cloning, because one of the biggest things that I am not a fan of is, like, I am extremely against cloning and stuff like that, because that's something that people did in the high competitive standings for a very long time, where they would just clone and gen Pokemon, and it's something that just, like, kind of really, really aggravates me. Like, even though, like, cloning an item, if it's a glitch, okay. I can, like, glitches, okay, they're unintended byproducts of just the way programming is, and it's not like you're deliberately going in and creating something that didn't exist from thin air. Whereas, if it's like, okay, well, I'm using a glitch to do something, I can, that's for me, that's like, I'm, if you're not doing it maliciously, yeah, then I can respect that. I personally won't do that, because, like, for me, it's like, I do enjoy the hunt. It's like, back in, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the Heart Gold Soul Silver series we did, off screen, I spent, like, an hour or two getting lucky eggs off the Chansey using the lucky egg grinding technique that I perfected by the use of repels. Which, for those who don't know how that works, is back in Fire Red and Heart Gold Soul Silver, because the way Compound Eyes works, and because the levels that repels are at for Chansey, you can actually get a Chansey to basically be forced into appearing more likely than not for encounters. So, by doing that, you can basically force more common lucky eggs, and by using Compound Eyes, you can force it to more often than not hold the right item. Because Compound Eyes, it will force Pokemon that have a 5% chance hold item into a 20% chance of holding that item. And it really just makes everything so much quicker. But yeah, it's something that I know isn't for everyone. Like, I can... Wait, did I already have 28 on the thing, or did I have 27? I need to check. I had... Oh, I actually already had 27. It's 29. I messed up the thing. Yeah, I know what lucky egg strategy you're talking about the Yanmoth Compound Eyes. Yeah. Yep, that is... I very much love doing that, because, like, it's how in the Heart Gold Soul Silver thing I got the Metal Coat that I needed to evolve my Pokemon. But yeah, it's like I pretty much do that with hunting any evolution item where it's a wild hold item, is just to use the Compound Eyes strategy, because it, Compound Eyes, Thief, Frisk, it's such a great just trio of things to just expedite hunts. It's so great. I love it. Because in that same series, we used we used a Kingdra, and we needed the Dragon Scale, which is held 5% of the time by Horsey, which, so I had to go get a Horsey thing, get a Horsey, and I had to go and, do the encounters to get it. And there we go, we are now at 30 encounters for the monkey. This is where we got our shiny Vikavolt in the previous first hunt. Nope. The luck did not carry over. The luck did not carry over. How sad. Much unfortunate. Now it is time for the next thing to go. So if I like pause right there for a little bit, just gonna have to catch my breath and just take a little bit of water. Yes, Barry, you want to hunt a Gyarados. Honestly, I find that hilarious how like the shiny red Gyarados is a thing that a lot of people don't consider like like a lot of people say like, what was your first shiny Pokemon? Well, we don't consider the shiny Gyarados because well it's given to you, which I can understand why people don't consider that because it was hand given to you. But yeah, I like that. I very much like the fact that because the other thing also was that might have been what sparked a lot of people's interest in shiny hunting. So why does like things just like shift upwards for some reason on my screen? It doesn't want to work correctly. This computer is a pain in the butt. No, I don't want Turtwig. I want Chimchar. I want the Chimchar. I want the Chimchar. I want the Chimchar. Give me that chimp. Give me that chimp. Give me that Chimchar. 31 encounters. There we go. Nope, not a sunburnt Chimchar. Not a sunburnt Chimchar. But there we go. Yeah, I actually never really noticed that I was falling behind in levels too much when I was playing through this because, I mean, then again, I've only actually played up until right after Byron. I have not played beyond Byron in either my Pearl or Diamond files, so things beyond that, depending on how things go, I actually am not aware. In my opinion, should be the fault of the programmer for not checking the game before. Well, here's the thing. The thing about glitches, like, I wouldn't exactly say that's like a fair thing to say because the thing about glitches is that glitches are inherently things that are exploitable pathways that are a byproduct of the way things are made. It's not really feasible for developers to look at every single individual pathway because that's one of the reasons why like they have like game testers. They're a thing where they just go in and they go and just like mess around with every single thing they possibly can. And they still can't find everything. I mean, you can't like just examine the code and see, okay, well this thing goes to this, this is a glitch. It's not the easiest thing to actually go through and like sleuth through, but they have gotten better about it. Because you also gotta remember, when it comes to like the amount of people that can like test a game, for like that can test a game for like exploit glitches and everything like that, they will have maybe a couple like tens of maybe 100 or so at most. Like, they're not gonna have thousands of people doing it. When it comes to like release of the game, you have millions of people trying every single. You have thousands of times the number of people just messing with every single possible combination they can. It's simply like sheer numbers of things that you really can't test every single possible combination of pathways, which is why when you have millions of people doing it, you can find all sorts of glitch exploits, which is why like glitches are not as often found when it comes to like game test. Like you will find like the big glitches when it comes to games, like with developers with game testing, but like smaller ones like item cloning, and I to a degree somewhat think that they might leave in item cloning ones because it's like it's a helpful thing, and it's like exploitable to make it more useful. Like, that's one of the reasons why they left the Mew glitch in when they did the Virtual Console re-release of the original games. They left the Mew glitch in because, well, it's a thing that you could do to get Mew. Yeah, I think some of the time they might leave in a glitch or two just because they know people will go for it because it's helpful. I want the chimchar, I want the chimchar. We are up to 33. No shiny Starly. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're not getting shiny Starly, because, like, the way that I see it is that, sure, we can get a shiny Starly. It'll be, funny to get one, but at the same time, that could have been a shiny Chimchar. And it's why, like, I don't really catch other Pokemon in Dynamax Adventures, because I think that could have been the shiny of my Legendary. But I mean, I know it's like a weird way of thinking. I know it's a bit of a backwards way of thinking. But yeah, it's something. And on to our next thing. But yeah, it's like yeah, glitches are an interesting thing. They're very much an interesting thing. Also, thank you guys for the 4 likes. Thank you very much for that. If you haven't given one, please do. It really helps the algorithm. Yeah, it really helps the algorithm. It really like helps the thing grow, and it really helps like things expand and become bigger and more grand. And that we can actually do more on the channel because of more traffic. So thank you guys. 6 people watching. Excellent. I love that. That's what I really love seeing. I love seeing things like that. And now it is time for the wild attack of Pokemon. Also, I left a joke telling the whole cloning glitch is bad cloning glitches, so why Mewtwo allowed to clone. That's actually pretty funny. That's actually funny. The answer is that Mewtwo is actually not allowed because it is generally banned because it's a restricted Pokemon. At least as far as the VGC standards. And I follow the VGC standards. That's actually a fantastic joke. I love it. That is an amazing joke. I actually highly respect it. No, I clicked yes. I clicked yes. This thing doesn't want to work right. This thing does not want to work right. And let's continue on. Come on. I know the reason they have this opening is so that way they can like load everything up in the game, but it's a little annoying at times. It's a little annoying at times. Because like, you do need like some visual feedback to show like, yeah, things are working right, but at the same time, it's like you're taking processing power to load up to like display that loading screen. If you put the power from that, you could load things a little quicker. It wouldn't be faster, but it would be a little quicker. And I just love that. It's just like a little technical thingy by efficiency. Because I am all about that efficiency. Efficiency is what is the best. Come on. Yes. Yes, we know, Barry. We very much know, Barry. And now we get attacked by Pokemon. We're about an hour and 8 minutes in. Jeez, this is actually a little long than this actually has gone on longer than I thought. I thought it was actually not that long, but I'm surprised. After this, actually, we also should like consider who we're gonna go raid, because like raid is what we do at the end of every stream, and that's a good thing. Nope. And that's 35. Load up the next game. Come on. Come on. Give me the next thing. There we go. Yeah, I that was actually a very good joke. That was a very good joke. I love it. Also, I'm not getting any notifications on the mini feed about new subscribers, which is weird, because generally the thing was pretty good about actually like notifying me about everything. So I don't know what's going on with you, OBS, but you're slacking. You are slacking on the job. Thank you, Lucas, for please getting out of the way. Yes, let's go check out the briefcase that is left here that we have seen a billion times because we've done this how many times? Yes, let's check it out. But so I like Blonde Dawn. I do really like the design of Blonde Dawn. Like even though like Blue Dawn, like blue hair Dawn is like the Dawn that I grew up with. I do like the fact they actually gave like the alternate hairstyles. I really do like that. Because like it's a nice way to like an interesting new take on the designs of like older characters that we've loved for so long. Right? There we go. Next is up. So 30, yeah, we are actually like marginally ahead on the clock, so we are just a little less than 2 minutes per soft reset. But yeah, that's we're doing pretty well. We are doing pretty well. Alright, next one. So how is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing quite well. We actually haven't asked the people who are more new here. So how is everyone doing? I'm very eager to see how everyone is doing, because we already know how some of our earlier people have been doing. I hope everyone is indeed doing quite well. I hope everyone is doing quite well. And Lucas, thank you. Please stand aside. Please stand aside, Lucas. Honestly, I do love the designs, everyone. Like, I really love the design of characters in Diamond and Pearl. They were great. They were actually, like, really... I mean, yeah, Gen 5 has also... Like, Gen 5 also has a lot of great character designs. Gen 5 has great character designs, actually. Oh, it's a hard pack. Better design in Gen 4, Gen 6, Gen 4, Gen 5. Oh, character designs. That's a hard pick. That is a really hard pick. No. I want Chimchar. I want Chimpichar. The best starter ever made. Chimchar. And no one can convince me otherwise. No one can convince me otherwise. And that's... Yeah. I mean, everyone is going to have their favorite starter. Everyone is going to have their own favorite starter for their own reasons. The funny thing is I actually never used a Chimchar until around 7 years ago for the first time. I never used one prior. So, fun little story. Because I only played through Platinum once and Diamond once. And I picked Empoleon, I think, in both of them, or I picked Torterra in one, and Empoleon in the other. So, yeah, I played through it 4 times. Once, I had Empoleon on both my Platinum and my original Diamond. Then the next one I played Platinum, I used Turtwig. So, yeah, the 5th time I played was when I used Infernape for the first time. That was like very long after. So that's... Yeah, it's like a lot of the people, like their first starter they ever picked is like holds a special place in their heart. And I will say, like, Empoleon does kind of hold a bit of a special place in my heart, but that's because like I like Steel types. I really like Steel types, and like it's the only Steel type starter Pokemon there is. So kind of things for that. But other than that, I mean, you know, if it wasn't really for it being like a Steel type, it probably wouldn't be have as like high notability as for me. But now to encounter number 38. Yes, I want this thing. Yes, Barry encounters time. Battle Pokemon. Give me the Chimchar. Give me the Chimchar. I will take that Chimchar. Thank you. Yeah, I think maybe once we get to like 45 or maybe 50, we'll call it. Maybe. Actually, no, maybe 60. Maybe 60. I mean, that'll be 20 more encounters. I need to think about that. I actually need to think about what we leave off. I want to leave on like a multiple of 5. I want to leave on a multiple of 5 just because like I'm a bit of a freak for numbers being neat. But yeah. now I'm just rambling without anyone listening. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep. Just me rambling with no one listening. Next encounter, number 39, is fast approaching us. Yes, Rowan, we know you're lecturing Lucas time and time again. It's all you do. It's all he does is be lectured. So, let's just please bypass everything. Let's just please go past everything. Now let's go on to our encounter because that's what we want to see. We want to see if the thing will be a sparkly fire monkey. We want the sparkly monkey on fire. We want the flaming monkey. Counter number 39, up and ready to go. And nope. Rejected, denied, restart, failure. Okay. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled shiny hunt. Resume our regularly scheduled program. Alright, to the lake. On to the lake we go. On to the starters we go. On to the briefcase. Oh, I love how there's no briefcase there and then it just suddenly materializes. It's like between the frame cuts, he drops it. Very irresponsible of you, Professor Rowan. Very irresponsible of you to leave behind such a rare and valuable Pokemon. Because, like, it is implied that the starter Pokemon are, like, not something that are naturally found in abundance in the wild, and that's one of the reasons why that they're, like, stars, is because they are very rare naturally. Which is why I find it funny, like, no one actually has them. Like, no one actually has starter Pokemon outside of you. And of course, your rival. It's like, you very rarely encounter trainers who have the starter Pokemon. Which I always found weird. But, I mean, I am kind of glad that they don't do that because, I mean, all things considered, that's basically all you would realistically be seeing if everyone went the same way. But it's also kind of implied that that's not how everyone starts. Not everyone is, like, selected as a Pokedex holder. Because I don't know, that's one thing that I kind of wish they would explore more, is like the idea of only people who have a Pokedex are the ones that get like the starter Pokemon. Because that's I feel like that's kind of how it's implied, but at the same time it's also kind of not. But at the same time, like Cynthia is implied, like Cynthia is like outright stated to be a Pokedex holder, and she does not have a starter Pokemon. You know, like not a traditional starter Pokemon in the sense of like the regional starters. So maybe I'm wrong. You know, something that I would actually kind of let them to go into detail on a bit more is, you know, why, like, the origin, so to speak, of, like, why it is certain Pokemon are picked as starters. You know, I kind of would like a little bit more of an explanation on that, just 'cause I feel like it would be an interesting thing to go into detail on. But I mean, it's like, I understand that Pokemon is not, like, the most deep, super storytelling game in the world. It's, like, it's not like Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, if you don't go to Pokemon to get a story like Xenoblade Chronicles. If you want a story like Xenoblade Chronicles, you go play Xenoblade Chronicles. If you want a hard game like Dark Souls, you go play Dark Souls. When you play Pokemon because you want to have some fun. You know, that's basically the long and short of it. It's just, and that's one of the reasons why, like, it astounds me when people complain about like Pokemon being easy, is that it was never intended to be this like uber hard challenge thing. It was never designed for that purpose. It was always designed to be a much more easy game. You know, like not like there's word of like a negative connotation, but like it was always designed to be a more casual game. You know, and people don't really seem to be able to realize that. That's what it was always supposed to be. It was never meant to be this, you know, well, when you play through it in a standard playthrough, it was never meant to be like the super hard, aggressively challenging thing. It was meant to just be fun that you go around and you play and you just, you know, get what you like. You know, that's one of the reasons why people saying, like, we want, you know, we want, like, brutal difficulty spikes, or we want, you know, champion runs, or we want, you know, like all of like competitive grade move kits. Like, I mean, well, there are some that do have that, but like we want like everything to be like EV trained, IV trained, natures, you know, all the things. Well, here's the thing: if you have everything be like set with natures and IVs and everything like that, and EVs, well, all it takes is, okay, I know what these things stats are. I know what this thing's like nature. I know what its speed is. I know how these things work. I can just outspeed by one, or like set up this thing to know exactly how it goes. So it's not going to change anything. It won't change anything whatsoever. The only way to potentially do that is if they do things like consult actual competitive players on how to build teams, and then they have like every gym leader's team be like a competitive grade team around that theme. It's one of the reasons why like I really liked Raihan's team in Shield and Sword, because it actually is the one of the closest things to a competitive doubles team, because like, you see weather teams in doubles a lot. And you know, he used breaking swipe, he used weather, he used, you know, all these different things, and you know, it's just like that's the closest we've ever gotten. And I'd really love it if they did more of those, but at the same time, I recognize that's not what the series is meant for. The series is not meant to be, you know, this super difficult thing. It's meant to just be a fun, casual playthrough of games. It's why when like people want to turn into, you know, this super like Dark Souls level challenging thing, it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me, because that's never what it was supposed to be. It's also one of the reasons why like people complain about the change the EXP share. The new EXP share is because the way people play is they grab a static team of 6 Pokemon, you know, they go through the game with a pre-thought-out team of 6, they beat the game with those 6 Pokemon, and they just grind up everything in post-game to fill out the decks. You're not gradually filling the decks out as you go through the game for most people. Most people don't do that, at least most people in the vocal part of the community. Most of the people who are younger players, they probably do the more filling the decks gradually as you go. And it's not like it's even the first thing to encourage you to go fill up the decks as you go throughout the game, rather than just in one giant rush. That's the whole reason why critical captures existed in Generation, in Gen 5. That's why like critical captures were a thing that was added. And now our next encounter is up. Thank you, Barry, for stating the obvious. I love how Barry's not even looking at the Starly that's like about to peck his brains out. He's like, hey, Dawn, go pick up the thing. Like, Dawn, pick this thing up, because it's important. Like, I'm about to get pecked in the back of the head. Ah, Barry, we love you, but you're stupid. Barry, you are stupid, but we love you. Like, Barry is probably my favorite rival. Barry is legitimately probably my favorite rival, because I see so much of myself in him. Yeah. Next, on to the lake once again. We head back to the resets. We just go through everything all over again, because we are soft resetting for a shiny Chimpy Char. I don't know why, like, I sporadically break out into, like, weird little mini songs every so often. It's weird. It looks like I hate my singing voice, but I keep doing it for some reason, because you guys enjoy it, probably. I think. And now we rinse and repeat with Barry being attacked by Starly. I will take Chimchar. Thank you very much. I want my Chimchar. I don't even know I'm gonna nickname this thing if I get it. Cause I'm probably not gonna nickname it because I don't really tend to nickname my Pokemon in solo playthroughs. I will name my competitive team Pokemon, but I won't really name my single playthrough teams. I don't know why. Just it's a weird thing about me. And yeah, we're probably gonna stop at we're probably gonna stop at maybe 50 resets. We're gonna stop at 50 of them because like we're not gonna go 60. We're not gonna go to 60. We're gonna go to 50, and then after that, that's when we end. And we go looking for a raid target. I actually should. No, I mean, it's going to be about like 2 minutes per soft reset, so I should probably go looking for the raid target after, yeah. Because we got 10 more minutes, and then, when we get closer to that, I should start doing that. Yes, indeed. Let's go into the tall grass. Hey, Player Zero, how are you doing? I should actually go grab your link because thank you very much for popping in. Nothing much is actually up for us right now. Actually, how did you spell your name? It is... There's Chimchar. Let's get the soft reset clock ticked up into that. And... Nope. Pose, there we go. I'd like to go grab your link, Player Zero, because I know that you are another content creator. Player Z3R0. I know you're another creator, so I will go and grab your link because I always have to grab the links of my friends because every content creator does. Whenever like a friend of mine that I know is a content creator pops into my chat, I always like to get their link because like if I know that they're a creator, I will do that. There you go. For those who don't, please go subscribe to good friend Player Zero. He's a fellow Pokemon content creator, and he does stuff and things. Thank you. I would very much appreciate it if you do. But everything is going pretty well for us. How are things going with you? How are things going for you? Because they're going pretty well for me. Like we've got a bunch of people here watching. We've got some things going on. I appreciate it. Got to beat Tommy, lose Shiny. Oh, I'm not going to beat that. I am not going to beat Tommy, lose Shiny at that just because I'm not going to. I already know that I'm not going to be able to beat that. I very much know that I'm not going to be able to beat that. I wish I could, but I know that I'm not going to be able to. I would love to get it like in the first thing, because here's the thing: the shiny Vikavolt hunt that we did first was like one of the fastest hunts that I think I'll ever do. That was not a like Dynamax Adventures or something like that. It was just in terms of pure number of resets, well, not number of resets, number of eggs hatched from a pseudo method. It was 30 eggs exactly, and like. I don't think we're ever gonna beat that in any hunt, ever. Like, I don't think we'll ever actually beat that, which is awesome, because it's a high bar to cross, and we can always have it be like, yeah, we never passed our previous record. Our previous record will always still stand. And I love that. That was one of my favorite things. Like that's why I really love. That's why I really, really love these things. go once more into the lake. I lost my hardcore Nuzlocke and Platinum. Going to. Yeah, I gave up on doing my hardcore Nuzlocke for my hardcore randomizer. I gave up on doing that. Honestly, just because I legitimately wanted that randomizer to be over with. I no longer cared for it in the slightest. So I was like, let's just get rid of this thing. Let's just get it over with. But also for everyone who is still watching, please leave a like, and thank you very much for that. It helps with the algorithm so much. And we're closing in on our near end of the hunt for today. We're gonna be tomorrow. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're probably gonna be doing the Ho-Oh raid tomorrow. We have a bunch of things we're gonna be doing. We have a bunch of things we're gonna be planning on doing because we have this hunt. We have the Zygarde one that's ongoing presently. My quickest shiny with second encounter or beetle. We're gonna get. Yeah, my quickest hunt, air quote, hunt I ever had was me just breeding for a Beldum competitively, and the second egg just happened to be shiny with the right nature. The first one was not a shiny, and it had the wrong nature, so like, okay, we'll go for the next egg. Next egg, boom, shiny Beldum. And that's why it's my icon. But yeah, 30 for Vikavolt was amazing, because it was a Masuda method. And also the Beldum was not even Masuda method, it wasn't even Shiny Charm. And that's why I love it. That's why I love it. It was one of the best things ever. Yeah, that's actually the reason why it was. It's actually my icon, my profile pic, my mascot, whatever you want to call it. The reason why is that I decided to make my icon, like my mascot, was because the time that I was going for doing that was relatively new when me and my benefactor for making the channel were discussing like the idea of making the channel, and well, when I got that, I was like I took this as a sign. Like, I was on the fence about it. I saw this, like, this is something telling me, go and do this. And I took that as a sign, like, well, this is going to be my mascot. Because Metagross is my favorite Pokemon. It has actually been my favorite Pokemon for a long time. It's just pure coincidence. It happened to be, like, that's why I took that as a sign, like, this is my favorite Pokemon as a shiny with the right nature through pure random chance. It's a sign to me. I took that as a sign. I took it as a sign, and yeah, and this is where we are now. And I regret nothing. I regret nothing. Okay, that's I regret a lot of things. I don't regret nothing. And on to number 39, last one. I am not the biggest fan of Eevee. I am not the biggest fan of Eevee, and it's like for, well, like 2-3 separate reasons. Mostly is like efficiency, and none of like the evolutions aside from like Umbreon are like particularly efficient in terms of stats, and like I have never like, I mean, yeah, that way. Yeah, I might have picked that up a bit. I might have picked up that you started a bit in Gen 1. Not to sound like a bit wrong, but like, I mean, well, then again, Eevee's one of those Pokemon where a lot of people, even who aren't from Gen 1, tend to like it, but I was never a big fan of the Eevee line. The only two of its evolutions I really say like is I like Glaceon a lot, where I like Glaceon because like it's a really strong special ice attacker and it like has really good stats for what it is. It also has a little bit of bulk for a generally pretty glassy type. And Umbreon, because like Umbreon is a freaking brick wall. Like, it is, even to this day, it is one of the like all-around bulkiest things that there are, purely because it has an amazing stat combination and it has like a really good kit for just being obnoxious. But the other ones, like, they don't. Well, the main reason why is, like, for me, when I see a lot of the others, I see, like, this thing is, like, basically a substitute of, like, this Pokemon. Like, I see, like, say, Espeon as, like, it's just a diet version of Alakazam, is, like, the way that I see things, essentially. It's just, like, kind of the way that I think. It's not... When you see, like, the things the way I do, like, in terms of, like, mostly numbers, it makes more sense. But to a lot of other people who they don't really see things in terms of, like, the same pure numbers that I do, that it doesn't really make as much sense. So, yeah. But let's get on to our 50th and last encounter of the night. And also, I need to go on and look for a raid encounter, not a raid encounter, but a raid target. Oh, and now we went to the sun. We went to the sunset. I love the sunset. Oh, the sunset look is so great. It's such a great thing. I love it. Oh, I love it so much. It looks so great. It's so great. It's like, just the aesthetic of it is just so good. The aesthetic of it is just so good. And who are we gonna go? Who are we gonna go raid? Thank you, Lucas. Thank you very much, my good friend Lucas. Lucas is being a good boy, and he is helping us get things. Alright, let's go on to our final encounter. Last one of the day. Sylveon's favorite them. Funny thing is, I don't. Sylveon's my least favorite, and that's mostly because I actually don't really like fairy types, because in typing they're broken, and it's like, no. Why must this little demon flesh ribbon monster destroy my beloved dragons? Why must the flesh ribbons destroy everything I love? Like, that's one of my favorite, like, things out of context people have taken from me, and that is the flesh ribbons. Alright, and no shiny Chimchar. So, with all of that, it is time we go on a raid. And we're going to be raiding my friend Philly, who is doing shiny hunting himself. So, we're going to go in with a big mechanized Maxis raid. Yeah, it's like, it's from, like, I actually have, like, a video planned in the works for was fairy, like, a necessary type to add. And it's, like, goes over, like, numbers and things like that. So it's, like, I have, like, a lot of, like, plans for things. But, hope to see all of you guys over there. Thank you all for coming out tonight. You are all wonderful people. Hope to see you guys over there, and thanks again.